All right, good evening to you all. This is Emmanuel Kadri, and I feel so good to have you all here tonight once again. I promise it's going to be another exciting moment to learn Python. And then tonight, we're going to be discussing sets. Okay, we're going to be talking about sets in Python. Now, what are sets? Let me just say a set is a way of keeping, is one of those ways of keeping different values into one variable. All right, list can also do that same thing for you. List can keep different values into one variable. The same thing happens to set too. You can keep different values of a set and then put them into one variable. All right, so now, but we are going to be experimenting with different kind of stuffs and just to see what makes sets to be different from lists, because both of them are very familiar, but there are some exceptions. That there are some things that pertains to sets which you cannot apply to lists. All right, so we're going to be discussing all of that this evening, the characteristics of sets, and then also some operations that can be performed on sets, and of course how we can apply them. All right, so here we go. A set is one of those ways of keeping several values, all right, into one variable. All right, so the second thing is that Python set, just like normal sets, okay, just like normal sets, you keep them in braces. Remember yesterday we did dictionary, and then we kept dictionary in braces too. The same thing happens to Python. Python sets are kept in braces, okay? And then being kept in braces, the difference between Python, between sets and dictionary in Python is that set contains single values, but dictionary contains ordered pairs. But both of them are kept inside braces. I said ordered pairs. It contains key value pairs, rather. Okay, and then, but both of them are kept in braces. And then each element in them are separated by comma. Okay, so set and dictionary are similar only over the fact that they are both kept in braces, and then each element in them are separated by comma. Okay, and but as for sets are unordered, which means it doesn't matter how you arrange them. Okay, so unlike list is ordered. Okay, list is ordered because every element in the list, you can identify them with their index. So the first element has index 0, the second element has index 1, and then the other ones like that, index 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, but the story of set is not like that. So the fact that we can, let's say I have something like the set of ages, okay, or let me say the set of students, okay, and then we have set of students, and we have Gloria. We have Gloria. And then we have Mary. And then we have Omolade. Ladies first. So which other lady do we have on ground now? Let me check. Which one of them are in the class? We have Augustina. Okay. let me say female students. Female students. Who other? Who I've mentioned Mary, Omolade, Augustina. Okay, all right. No one else. I think all the ladies are represented here. Okay, good. This is one set. Okay. Now, if I choose to change the location, maybe I put Mary first and Gloria after and all that, it still doesn't change anything. Do you understand? So it's still a set either ways. All right. So, but one thing about set is that once a set is created, you cannot replace the values. I cannot say, okay, this is Omolade, and then I want to replace it with someone else. Okay, you don't replace values in sets. You could do that with a list. You could do that also with a dictionary, but you cannot do that with a set. So you say once created, Python. Let me say the elements of a Python sets cannot be replaced. Well, you can't replace them, but actually you can you can drop them. So which means that if I wish to replace anybody here, what I will just do is that I will drop off the person and then add a new person. So you are free to add new ones, okay? But you cannot replace directly the way we did as for dictionary and the way we did in list too, okay, where we replaced some values. Okay, you can't do that in sets. Okay, so please take note of that. Okay, let me create another set, male students. So we are going to be doing stuffs with this. Okay, so we have Buzuzu. Okay, and then we have excuse me, there is music from the background. Okay, so we have Buzuzu, we have Falalu, and then we have what else again? Remedios. Okay, let me just put Remi, and then let me put Remedios. Okay, and then we have Samson newcomer. We have Samson newcomer. Okay, so we have Samson, and then we have who else again? All right, so I think that should be all. So good. So we have Gloria, Mary, Omolade, Augustina. So it's 4 now, no problem. And then we have the male students, the set of male students, Buzuzu, Falalu, and Remedios and Samson. Okay. So now, what are the stuffs that we could actually do with these ones? Okay. Please mind you, just one this feature. Let me put it this way. Excuse me. Maybe in minutes, please. Okay, found it. All right, so what can we do with these sets? Let's say somebody just joined the class, and then as the person joined the class, we want to add the person to a particular set. All right, I told you that we are very free to add. You are free to add, you are free to drop, okay? And then you're also free to, adding, dropping. Yeah, you are also free to join elements of a set too, okay? So you are free to join the elements of a set, like if I want to put these two of them together, okay, you can just put them together, like the two sets, I can join them together to form a single set, okay? So now you can also check to know if a particular element is in a set. You can check to know. You can also know the number of elements in a set. That one is, I think, general, but I've not, taught you all of that yet. Okay. All right. Now, you remember that when we were dealing with lists, we were able to access the element of a list using the index. When we dealt with what is it called yesterday, dictionary, we were able to access the elements in a dictionary using the key. So we're able to access the value using the key, okay? But in a list, we access the values using index. But as for sets, you cannot access the items. You cannot access those values by referring to an index or a key. You cannot do that for a set, because number one, set is unordered, which means it does not have a specific order. You may rearrange them and it still means the same thing. Do you understand? And then it is unindexed too, which means it doesn't have index. You cannot say this is index 0, index 1, index 2. No, you cannot do that for a set. You understand? So, and then because of all that qualities, you cannot point to a value in a set the way you do as for lists and list tuples and dictionary. All right. So how then do we point to the value if we need it? Okay. Now, one of the things that you can do is that, for instance, if you want to use it in a print statement, okay, you can do like this. Let's do it this way. Of course, let's start with let's start with this. Female students. You can print it generally. So we have print male students. Okay, so let's run it. Good. So intact. It was able to display them. Good. So the next thing is, if I want to print a particular value in the sets, okay, all I just need to do, I don't need to use any special thing to point to it. I will just bring out that value straight up. Okay. So if I need Gloria, I will just say print Gloria. It's just as simple as that. Print Gloria is print Gloria, and it will just, you run it and it just runs. Gloria is Gloria. Do you understand? So no big deal about, we don't have to start using variables or using some kind of system to test it. Gloria is Gloria. Okay, so all right. Now, if you want to use any value from these sets, you can just go straight and use it, no problem. Okay, you don't have to use some kind of special code or follow some kind of special precaution to do that. So, and then, okay, let's say you want to drop. Okay, let me put this one. So let me just say sets are unordered, on indexed, they don't have indexed, and irreplaceable. All right, so you cannot replace an element, you can only drop or add. So if I want to replace anyone, I will just drop that one and then add the new one. That one is allowed. Okay. You can add or drop elements. So let's see how to add the elements then. And then also to access the value of a set, just use the value to access the elements of a set. Just use the value straight away. I think this one should be here. Okay, all right. So then another thing again is to add a new element to a set, use the add function. To add a new element to a set, use the add function. Okay, or the add method. Okay. All right. So to do that quickly, so e.g., if I want to add maybe who else joins the class? If I want to add Emmanuel to the set of female students, to the set of male students rather. Okay, so what I will just do is that I'm going to call that set, like I will say male students. I will call the set, the name of the set. Then you now put dot add. So you put dot add, open the bracket, and then put the new element you want to add as a parameter, as an argument. You understand? So what do I put there? Let's say we have a new student called Kelvin, and then we add it like this. So having do that, you can just print. Let's say print male students, and so let's see what we have now with Kelvin added. Bingo! So Kelvin is in. So using the add function, we could actually add new values to a set, and we are good to go. All right. So use the dot add method to add. Now to remove any elements from the sets, okay, we can use if you use the pop, you can use discard, and you can also use remove. There are two methods that you can use. You can use discard and then you can use remove. Okay, so if you want to use, the difference between discard and remove is that let me use this first so you can actually see. All right, so if you have let me see, you can use the remove method. Okay, you can use the remove method. So how do you do that is, let's say I don't want Kelvin because we don't know anybody pairing Kelvin. And okay, don't worry, I don't want to remove Kelvin. I want to remove Samson because Samson is not in the class now. Samson left. So if I want to remove Samson, okay, because Samson has left the class and I really want to remove him for real. So what I would do is that I would just say, I will have to indicate the sets that on which I want to perform the operation, okay, and then I can say male students dot remove, male students dot remove, and then you can put Samson there. So you have told Python to remove Samson. So let us print. And then we run it. Samson is gone. So that is just how it goes, as easy as that. All right. Now, if you want to another way to do that, another way to remove an element of a set is the use of the discard method. The discard method. Okay, so instead of using remove, you can also use discard. Okay, so let's have an example here. You can say male students, or let me say female students dot discard, and then let's say I want to discard. Now I don't know who to discard among you now. Augustina came first, Mary came second, Gloria came late. I want to discard Gloria, sorry. So now we have, you want to talk? So let's say I want to discard somebody. All right, I don't want to discard any of the female students. So what I'm going to do is that discard Mary. Oh, Mary volunteered. Okay, all right then. Then I say discard Mary. You're the one that volunteered. All right, so we print, and then we have the female. Let's say we have female students, and we run the program. Mary is gone. She's gone to higher grounds. Something like that. All right, so we have okay, so we can see that in the set we just have Omolade, we have Mary, Augustina, and Gloria, like that. So now I want to, let me remove. So now the question I actually want you guys to ask me is, what is the difference between the discard and the remove? Well, the difference is that if you use remove, okay, and then you indicate an element that is not in the set, it will return an error. But if you use discard and you indicate an element that is not in the set, no problem. Okay, so let me put it as a note. Say that the difference between the remove and the discard function or method is that when you apply remove function and indicate an element that is not present. That is not present in the set. It will lead to an error. But discard does not put up an error. For such. Okay, so let's have example. So what if I say remove, okay, sorry, if I say female students does remove, female students does remove, and for the female students does remove, I just say I want to remove Mary, and I know that Mary is no longer, because Mary has been removed initially, okay, in the previous line, and then I would just want to say remove Mary. So if I run it, you see, I got an error. It says key error, Mary. It says female students does remove Mary, blah, 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 line 33. It's an error. So if you use remove, it will give an error report. But if you use...
Sorry, sir, but you didn't usher the command now, the print command.
I didn't usher what?
The print command is just...
It's not necessary, but I just knew this will happen. I just went straight to the point. So let me see. Even if I did the print, okay, even if I did the print and I try to run the program, it still does the same thing. Okay, so that's that. I just knew it would return the error, so I didn't bother. All right, now okay, but if I say female students dot discard Mary, and I run it, well, it will just ignore. It will just ignore and print. So you can see the difference between the two. So using remove and using discard will give you, one will just ignore, the other one will return an error. So that's the difference between the two of them. So let me just put this remove here, and then put in notes. This will return an error. But so that it will not be disturbing our code, I would just like to put it like this. So when you are practicing, you can remove the codes, you can remove the comments, and then run it on your own. So this will not return, it will not return an error, but it will just ignore. All right. Okay, all right. So, but female underscore student dot discard Mary, this will not return an error, but to just ignore. You understand? But will just ignore. So that's how we have it. All right. So I think another thing again that we can do, we can pop it. All right. So let's have it this way. It says since Python set is unordered, okay, using the pop method, like we did yesterday, using the pop method would only remove the last element. Okay, it will only remove the last element in the set. So let's have an example. So let's go back to the male students now. Okay, which one is the last element in the male student set as of now? The last one is Falalu. So if I want to remove Falalu, maybe I just want to target the last element. So all I just need to do is to say male students. I will just say dot pop, open the bracket. All right. So male students dot pop, then open the brackets, and then you put okay, let's run it please, and then I'm going to print. So you run. As you can see that initially we had Falalu. Okay, this thing is shuffling for every run. We have Falalu, Samson, Buzuzu, Remigius, Kelvin. Okay, so we removed Samson and it gave us this one. All right. Before when we ran it earlier, before I ran it earlier, Falalu was at the back. Let me run the code again. So here we're having Falalu, Buzuzu, and Kelvin. Remigius was removed. Okay, let me run it. Now, you see, it's shuffling. So here we have Buzuzu, Kelvin, and Falalu. You understand? That is why the set is unordered. It does not have order. You understand? I told you before that it doesn't have any order. So whether you put something at the front or you put it at the back, it doesn't matter to the set. It can shuffle and it's still the same set. Do you get it now? So the fact that maybe you have a set of students in the class, okay, and somebody sat down here today and tomorrow the person changes seats, it doesn't mean that the person no longer belongs to that class. In as much as the person is still inside that class, is still a member of the set, regardless of where the person chose to sit down at one time or the other. Do you understand? So the same ideology applies to sets. So if you run this program again, take note, we have Buzuzu, Kelvin, and Falalu here. So, but if you run it now, we have Falalu, Remigius, Buzuzu. I want to run another one now, because this is the set that the guy is dealing with. The set of the male students, all 4 of them. So if I say pop, male students dot pop, this is the set is dealing with. So it will keep removing one, and then keeping the remaining 3. But it will be shuffling. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Are you just going to leave the cup bracket empty, like you're not putting anything inside, such as the pop male students?
Yeah, the reason is that when we use the pop, okay, the pop function does not specify it. The only work it does is to remove the last element in the set. So in that case, there's no need to specify.
The previous we used dot pop and dot del, you indicated something in the cup bracket.
when you want to use the other ones, you put something in the bracket because those ones work with specific elements. But
Okay.
pop only works with the last element. Like we did something like this yesterday. Do you remember? In dictionary. When for the other ones, we indicate the key. You understand? Anytime you want to remove one that has a specific target, there is no need. There is no need to. There is no need at all to indicate what you want to remove inside. Just leave it empty, and that is how it goes. It already knows what it wants to take off, and it will just take it off exactly. Do you understand?
Yes, coach.
Let's check. We have Mary Omolade Gloria Augustina. Okay.
So I think that the Python shuffles first
Yes.
before deleting
Y-
last
Just
set.
you can see now this is Omolade Gloria Augustina Mary. Do you understand? So what Python does is Python shuffles the sets. Okay. It has already been mentioned earlier that sets are unordered. I told you before that sets do not have any particular order. Okay, the last element can come first, the first can come next, the next can come last, and all of them can just switch positions. They are not ordered, unlike lists and dictionary and even tuples. So then they are unindexed, which means you cannot use index. You cannot say Gloria is in index 1, they are index 0, Mary is index 1, this one is index 2 and 3. No, you can't do that for Python, for sets rather, because they keep, as you can see, they keep switching positions and all that. So no particular index. Then they are irreplaceable. There is no command that you can use to replace. The only thing you can do is that if you want to replace any one of them, you drop it and then you add a new one. That becomes the replacement. So, and I've told you how to drop element from. Let's do experiments. Let's use del. Let's use del. You have del, then you indicate the. It cannot even work because this one doesn't use pointer. It's just direct. Okay, let me see. Del Samson. Or Del. Who goes off? Del Buzuzu. And print. I don't know. I've never done this anyway. I'm just trying to experiment. Print. We have male students. So let's see what happens. So from here, we have 1, 2, 3. After Gloria, we have we added Kelvin, making it 4. Another print statement 5, then 6. So we are expecting the 7th one. So let's run. Error. So del function cannot work. Okay, and that's that. As per that, we've actually touched everything that. Okay, yeah, we've not touched everything. It remains one more thing. It remains one more thing. To join.
Okay, sorry, I want to give us a Girl student dot girl open bracket close bracket.
Mary, try that on your own here, and give me the report tomorrow.
Because that's how you did for that. So I was just following your
No. Dell doesn't work that way. Dell just, the reason why Dell cannot work for this one. You see, for the other ones, not other one in set two. I'm talking about other ones in list and tuple and so on. We use something to assess those values. We have to put the name of the. We have to put the name of the list. We put the name of the list, and then we open a square bracket and we put the index, okay, and that helps us to access the value that relates to the index. And then you can just put del in front and it will just do that work for you straight up. But
Okay.
but you cannot but because you don't have any pointer in sets, there is nothing you can use to access a set. So when you want to access the values of a set, you don't need any special protocol. Just call the value straight. Just put the value straight and it goes. So in that case, it becomes difficult for sets to for you to use that kind of stuff for it. You get what I'm trying to explain?
All right.
All right. So there is this one function that you can even use to empty a set. You can just use it to empty everything. It's called declare for. Okay, I think it's clear. Yeah, let's try that. It's clear. If I want to empty a particular set, like okay, all the old boys in this class, everybody just made me angry, and I want to remove everybody, all the male students. If I want to remove all the male students in the class, okay, I said to join two sets. Let me do the joining first. To join two sets, okay, you have to name it. You have to give it a new name. To join two sets, use the dots union. You use the dot union method and also create a new variable name, that is a new set name. You have to create a new set variable name to contain the values, to contain the union of both sets. So let's have example. So let's have example. You know, we've been dealing with two sets since, which is the male students and the female students. So what you do is that you say you can form a new set by saying all students. Form a new set by saying all students, okay, is equal to, you now put the first one, maybe female students, ladies first, dot union. Then you open a bracket and put male students there. So which means that I want to join all the elements of male students with the elements of the female students. It is very possible. So this time around, I'm going to print all students and then run. Now you can see that we have Remigius, Gloria, Falalu, Omolade, Buzuzu, and Augustina. Okay, so male, female, male, female, male, female. Okay, so you remember that we have removed some of the elements before. So these are just the ones remaining. Okay, so we now say all students, that is how you can do the union of two students, like the first one and then dot union second one. So let us experiment by turning it the other way around. Okay, so what if we say students underscore all, then I say male students dot union, and then female students. Okay, then I'm going to print students. Oh, okay, let's run it. So what's the result here? We have female first. Oh, oh, okay. We have female, female, female first. Male, male, male next. I think this guy is just doing what he thinks, what he feels like. Because I don't know, he's just doing what it feels like. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say?
Seriously.
Yeah, he's just doing what he feels like. Because this result that I got here now is exactly the kind I was expecting for this line. It was exactly what I was expecting for this line. So, but when I saw it shuffling, I was like, okay, fine. Then I expected it to shuffle the same way. This time around, starting with female, then male. But it now brought all the female first, then all the males after. Well, it doesn't matter, like I told you, we are dealing with sets, okay? And it's the order of arrangement does not matter because they are unordered, okay? So that's that as per that. Now, there are two more operations than we call it a day. You can also add the elements of an iterable. I'm going to explain iterable when we start to do loops and all that. But let's just put it like iterable is any iterable is any set of items. Like you can treat it as a set of items. Okay. List is iterable because you can pick items from it. Okay. Even the elements of a tuple, iterable. Okay, strings too in Python are regarded as iterable too because by the time we start doing this stuff, what's it called? By the time we start doing loops, you will understand better, okay, why strings are or how strings are iterable. Okay, but iterable is like anything that can be handled like a set of items. So set is also iterable, okay? So now we can also add elements of an iterable, e.g. a list to an existing set. So we can also add the elements of an iterable to an existing set. So let's have example. E.g. Hey. So if I have a list, maybe the list is like extra students. I have a list called extra students, and then I need to just put something like lists are kept in square brackets, and then we have Tunji. Okay, we have Sheung, and then we have Cynthia. Okay, these are extra students and they are elements of a list. Okay, Python also allows us to add the elements of an iterable. Okay, it allows us to add them to an existing set. You understand it now? So in order to do that, it's still the same way that we did the other one. Okay, the same way we did the other one. That is how we are also going to do this one. So let's say, for instance, which means we are going to use the add function. Okay, the add method rather. All right. So what we will just do here is that we will do. Okay, no, not the add one. I don't think the add one can work, but rather the updates. Okay, let me just let's try it with the add one. With add. Let's see. So I can say maybe I want to add all these new guys here to male students. Okay, or let me say to all students. I want to add them to all students. So I can say all students. Okay, dot updates. Let me use this update. More. So you open a bracket. You open a bracket and then you put extra students there. Okay, remember that extra students are in a list. Okay, so let's see. I have to. Sorry. Let me stop it. Print all students now. Okay. Now, as you can see, yeah, it is updates. It is updates. As you can see now, we have Tunji, Sheung, and Cynthia were fetched from a list and added as elements of that set, as you can see here, and there was no problem. Okay, so this one is also possible. It's also very possible to be done. So I want to experiment using the add to see if it can work. So we have all, let me do students underscore all right, dot add, and then I put extra students there. And now I want to print students underscore all. So let's run it. All right, so add does not work. Okay, so on hashable, okay, on hashable type, which is a list, so you cannot use add for it. Okay, if you want to use a list, you want to use an iterable, then you use what? Updates. Okay, so that goes. So this same thing can be applied. Okay, I think I did that already. I used updates. Did I use update earlier to join two sets? Okay, I use union. Okay, so this same thing can, we used updates. We created a list, right? And it still worked fine. It also works again with set. Even if it was set, it will still work. All right, so this same thing can be applied to, okay, this same dot updates method can also be applied to a set. So let's say we have more students. More students is equal to, more students is equal to Korede, and then we have Kazim. Korede and Kazim. All right, so you can still have something like all students dot updates, and then you keep it here, more students, and this time they now print all students. So let's run it. It still worked fine. Okay, so this is the one for all students, and it added Korede and Kazim, and it worked fine. So it is not only when it is list. It doesn't work only for when it is list. It can also work when it is even a fellow, when it's even another set too. In as much as it's an iterable, it will work. Do you understand? So that's how it goes. So before we close for tonight, is there any other question?
Yeah, you said you were going to teach us how to clear a set if the voice in the group gets you and they want to remove everybody's name.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much. So if you want to clear a set, you so let's say we want to clear everything here. Come on. I want to clear everything here. So let's to clear all the elements of a set. So that is to say, turn a set empty. So when you say a set is empty, if a set is empty, it doesn't mean that the set does not exist. It means it is only empty, meaning there is nothing inside, but it still exists. Do you understand it now? So we are going to use which one am I going to select among them now? All right, let me use Corridor. Let me use this more students. Okay, let me use more students. So just say more students dot clear. You now have to print more students. More students dot clear and print more students. Okay, so what do you have? You just have sets. You see that?
It's set.
You see that? You know, I told you that when a set is when a set is empty, it doesn't mean that the set does not exist. Okay.
Exactly.
It's just that the set does not contain any elements. So just to show that is what this guy is doing here. Okay, just to tell you it's an empty set. That's what it's trying to tell you. All right. So I think there is one more again that I need to explain. This one is to confirm if a particular this doesn't work only for sets, it works for lists too and others. To confirm if a particular element is in a set, in a given set. All right. So we use the print method and in. We use print and in. I'm going to explain that. So let's have an example. I want to know if Tunji is in female students. Okay, I want to confirm if Tunji is inside female students. So what you do is that you say print. Then you now say Tunji in female students. So let's run it. You say it is false, which means Tunji is not there. You know, I told you about Boolean type, data type, right? We've only been talking about floats, integer, and string. I told you that there is a fourth one called Boolean, and the values of Boolean is just true or false. So this is an example of where the Boolean stuff surfaces. Okay, this is an example of where it surfaces. So now, if I say, what if I say print? What if I say print Omolade? Print Omolade in female students. So I want the print function to display the result for me, whether Omolade is truly in female students or not. All right, so let's run it. Yeah, you say it is true that Omolade is there. Okay, and so that is how it goes. That is all for tonight. Any question before we continue? Any question?
No question.
Oh, Augustina, any question?
No question.
Okay. So in the absence of questions, we can call it a night. So see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to drop assignments and other things later.